Could this really be just a coincidence, or is it a signal that has been deliberately hidden all along? Why did a simple 35-second video trigger such a massive wave of speculation across the global fan community? And most surprisingly, could this be the moment when Jungkook finally confessed something, even if unintentionally, behind that signature innocent smile of his? In the highly structured and often mysterious world of the South Korean entertainment industry, no gesture from an idol is ever truly insignificant. Every movement can be a symbol, a clue, even a hidden message waiting to be deciphered by those attentive enough to notice. That is why when a short video surfaced showing Jungkook casually standing in front of the camera, wearing dark-colored pajamas and speaking lightly to fans, no one expected it to become the center of such intense attention. And yet, that is exactly what happened. The video opens with what seems like an ordinary moment. Jungkook stands there with his usual relaxed aura, not appearing as though he is about to reveal anything major. There is no dramatic lighting, no background music hinting at a twist. Just Jungkook being natural, as if he is having a direct conversation with his fans. But that simplicity is precisely what makes it powerful. It creates endless room for interpretation. With a light tone, he asks, "What's V in English?" while flashing a peace sign. At first glance, it sounds like a harmless joke. But for fans, especially those who closely follow the dynamic between Jungkook and Kim Taehyung, this line instantly feels like a loaded question. Is it just wordplay? Or is it a subtle code meant to spark reactions? He then casually comments. The comments are really fast, acknowledging the overwhelming attention in real time. It shows that he is fully aware that every word he says is being watched, analyzed, and dissected down to the smallest detail. Yet instead of appearing nervous, Jungkook seems even more at ease, as if he is enjoying the moment. And then comes the part that changes everything. With a simple gesture, Jungkook points to his pajamas and says, "This is Korean Air pajamas." On the surface, it's just a casual explanation about what he's wearing. But in a fandom built on layered interpretations, nothing is ever just casual. This statement becomes the starting point of a much bigger wave of speculation. Why did he feel the need to clarify that? Was he subtly trying to divert attention from something more significant? The answer begins to unfold when the accompanying photo starts circulating. In the image, Jungkook and Kim Taehyung are sitting side by side, wearing strikingly similar dark pajamas. Not just similar, almost identical. Jungkook is smiling widely, confidently showing the tattoos on his hand and neck, while Taehyung laughs, covering his nose with a tissue, creating a warm and intimate atmosphere. This is where the narrative shifts from a simple casual moment into something much deeper. Fans quickly realize that this is not the first time Jungkook and Taehyung have been seen wearing matching outfits. Yet every instance like this always leads to the same question. Is it coincidence? Or is there something they're trying to express without saying it outright? The idea of a couple look resurfaces once again, bringing with it endless discussions that never quite reach a definitive conclusion. From an academic perspective within popular culture studies, this phenomenon is fascinating. In K-pop, the relationship between idols and fans is often built upon deliberate ambiguity. This ambiguity creates a wide interpretive space, allowing fans to feel a deeper emotional connection. What Jungkook does in this video can be seen as a perfect example of that dynamic, a seemingly spontaneous interaction with an incredibly powerful impact. Yet one question continues to linger. Was Jungkook truly unaware of the implications of his actions? Or is this a more complex form of communication, where he intentionally operates within the blurred line between reality and perception? Some observers argue that this moment reflects a shift in how modern idols communicate with their audience. Where interactions were once tightly controlled and formal, there is now a visible move toward a more relaxed and personal approach. Jungkook appears to embrace this natural communication style to strengthen his bond with fans. However, it is precisely this naturalness that makes everything harder to interpret objectively. Meanwhile, ARMY's reaction highlights just how strong that emotional connection has become. Within minutes of the video's release, countless theories emerged. Some see it as evidence of a deeper bond between Jungkook and Taehyung, while others interpret it as part of their long-standing friendship. Many go even further, analyzing every detail, from the color of the pajamas to facial expressions and word choices. But beyond all the speculation, one thing stands out: emotion. The video and photo do not just spark discussion, they evoke feelings. Many fans admit they feel warmth seeing Jungkook and Taehyung together, while others feel confusion, even shock, at what it might imply. Does this mean Jungkook really confessed? Or is it simply a narrative amplified by collective imagination? The truth may never be fully known. And perhaps that is exactly what makes it so compelling. In a world where everything can be analyzed and debated, moments like this remind us that not everything has a clear answer. Sometimes a smile, a simple question, or even a pair of matching pajamas can tell a story far greater than what appears on the surface. And if that really was just the beginning, then what comes next might be far more revealing than anyone is prepared for. Because the longer the clip is replayed, the more unsettling one realization becomes. Nothing in that 35-second moment feels entirely accidental anymore. The tone of Jungkook's voice, the timing of his words, even the way he casually raises his hand to form that peace sign. Could it all be part of a layered expression that goes far beyond what is immediately visible? Or is this exactly what makes it so dangerous to interpret? Because the more natural it looks, the more convincing it becomes. There is a peculiar tension that builds when simplicity meets global attention. Jungkook's question, "What's V in English?" lingers far longer than it should. On a linguistic level, it is almost absurdly straightforward. Is there. There is no translation needed. And yet, within the context of his world, V is never just a letter. It is a name, a persona, an identity embodied by Kim Taehyung. So why ask a question that seemingly has no answer? Unless the intention was never about the answer at all, some fans began to revisit older clips, searching for patterns, for moments that now feel different in retrospect. And this is where the narrative deepens into something almost psychological. The human mind is wired to seek meaning, especially when presented with ambiguity. In Jungkook's case, ambiguity becomes a canvas, and every fan becomes an interpreter. But what happens when thousands, millions of interpretations collide? What is created is not just speculation, but a collective storyline that evolves in real time. The image of Jungkook and Taehyung sitting side by side in matching pajamas adds another layer to this unfolding story. Visual symmetry has always held symbolic power. In media theory, matching outfits are often used to signify connection, alignment, or unity. Whether intentional or not, the effect is undeniable. The dark tones of the pajamas, the relaxed posture, the shared frame, it all contributes to a sense of closeness that feels both intimate and carefully